The Oculus Quest might be the most sophisticated device of its kind, yet it's not just about games. It's about a lot more than that. With such advanced technology, people will be able to enjoy all sorts of VR experiences, and that includes using it for business and entertainment. Many people will be able to use it for work. If you're one of these people, it's critical to know the best apps to download. It's important because there are a lot of apps out there and many of them don't make working enjoyable. The Room VR, a dark matter, is designed to take advantage of the unique capabilities of VR. Players can explore the spine-tingling world of the room and interact with its mysterious contraptions. This compelling new chapter in the Room saga begins deep within the British Institute of Archaeology, where the disappearance of an esteemed Egyptologist prompts a police investigation into the unknown. Uncover cryptic locations, examine fantastic gadgets, and discover an otherworldly element that blurs the line between reality and illusion. Puzzling Places is a relaxing and wholesome 3D jigsaw puzzle where players put together highly authentic miniatures of beautiful places from around the globe. By establishing a meditative and calm atmosphere, the game focuses on achievable challenges and an enjoyable sense of progression and completion. With every piece assembled, each place becomes increasingly more immersive and serene with ambient sounds that heighten their realism. Puzzling Places is a modern take on an age-old pastime that's fun for the whole family, thanks to its simple rules, ease of entry, and intuitive controls. If you loved the original, you're certainly going to love what the developers brought this time around with I Expect You to Die Too. It's funnier, wittier, and spy-ier than the original, and in many ways feels cut from the same cloth as classic 70s Bond films. Will Wheaton seems to relish his role as the celebrity John Juniper, and the ever-present handler returning players remember from the original game is clearly one of his character's biggest fans. The game's sound design as a whole is impressive, with dramatic strings and jazzy melodies that go far in capturing the mood of an old-school espionage thriller. Now that we've played through it ourselves a few times in VR, we can say for certain this has become our new favorite Oculus Rift game on Steam. A Rogue Escape seamlessly merges the escape room puzzle experience with that of a video game by putting you inside an enormous mech with complicated controls and with no operating manual. The best way to figure out how everything works is by traversing around various buttons, gauges, switches, and levers in order to understand how the machinery functions, despite the fact that there's no surrounding window for you to see where you're going or what obstacles lay ahead. Only one goal will drive you in this perilous situation: find a successful escape from the ordeal within your metal cage. Much like the Zortex mini-game in Valve's The Lab, Arvor's latest roguelike shooter Yuki taps into a veritable reservoir of nostalgia as you guide a pint-size action figure by hand through a seemingly impenetrable miasma of laser particles and moving obstacles. Yuki captures that childlike fun I first rekindled in Zortex, but ignites it on a much grander scale. It's difficult, well-polished, sometimes repetitive, but in the end, it shows off a knack for incentivizing the player to fight through a score of inevitable deaths to beat the final boss. The thrill of the fight is an enjoyable boxing game available for Oculus Quest that's perfect for those who want to live vicariously through their characters. The game allows you to get up close and personal in the ring without having physical contact with your opponent, as is the case of mixed martial arts like the Ultimate Fighting Championship, MMA. In addition, the thrill of the fight has a great tutorial available to players in order to get them acquainted with the controls regarding movement and attacking. You can also choose to play single player against an AI master or jump online to take on other people from around the world. Overall, it's very easy and intuitive enough so that anyone, regardless of gaming experience or technical proficiency, will be able to have fun beating each other's brains out. Walkabout Mini Golf or Walkabout is a virtual reality game that has made it certain that there's some competition to Superhot. Walkabout is that title, a sneaky, incredible virtual reality experience with insanely well-polished gameplay which makes it a must-buy for Quest owners. Yes, it's mini-golf. But really good mini-golf. Walkabout is basically the opposite of Pro Putt, and for all the right reasons. Physics are stellar, menus terrific, and the game is just flat-out fun. Plus, its replay value is through the roof thanks to its awesome adventure mode where you need to find all 10 missing golf balls. This alone will keep me coming back for more. Moss is a cute puzzle game where you take on the role of the adorable mouse Quill. You control her every move using either the DualShock or your VR headset via the PSVR controllers and face various challenges along the way. This game offers tons of co-op play, as well as introduces some unique 3D graphics that really make you feel like you can interact with this rodent-sized world using your own human hand. Pistol Whip is a triumph of game design. Rather than trying to wedge it onto technology that doesn't welcome its mechanics, Pistol Whip instead focuses on what makes VR fun: color, sound, and motion. This is a game that connects players with the developer's intentions through simple interaction, leaving the player sweaty and inspired. Whether you're playing on simple, medium, which is Smog, hard, which is Deadeye, or harder, which is Dual Wield, Pistol Whip more than qualifies as one of virtual reality's most addictive games ever made. Available now on Oculus Quest, Oculus Go and Google Daydream headsets, Swarm is a VR arcade shooter that packs a lot of punch. It's full of different gameplay elements for you to enjoy and master, whether that be fast-paced combat, skillful parrying, or even evasive maneuvers. We want to give our players an opportunity to get creative with their strategies as well as encourage them to try new things. It only makes the game more fun. Starcraft is a computer game that was released in 1999 by Blizzard. In this game, players do not only build buildings, gather resources, and produce units to fight against their opponents, but also are able to issue commands to those units as if they were orchestrating an actual battle. The gameplay of Starcraft is split up into two main parts: building up a base and growing an army, while the second part involves fighting an opponent who has done the same. There's been no other RTS game that has had the level of polish or received the kind of support Starcraft has over a decade after launch, especially with new units added in expansions to carry on its legacy. That, coupled with its resourcefulness, easy accessibility for beginners and complexity for experienced players, make it well worth checking out from where it all started. Just like its puzzles, Cubism is a complete package where everything fits together perfectly. The simplistic design and the relaxed soundtrack go well with its uncomplicated nature to add up a very enjoyable VR puzzle game. If you're a fan of challenging your thinking mechanisms, then we highly recommend you don't sleep on Cubism. The game features peculiar mechanical styles and excellent spatial problems. There are 10 packs of puzzles, together with 6 puzzles in every pack, at varying difficulties. For each puzzle, you'll be presented by a number of dimensional wires that outline what you need to create, as well as many colorful blocks that are utilized so as to finish this structure. Racket NX is a new kind of game that challenges the limits of what you can do with a racket and ball in VR. The game is played inside a giant glass dome, the walls of which light up with targets you must destroy with the ball. But this isn't any ordinary ball. Hit it with force and it will slam into the wall, rolling across it and bulldozing everything in its path. Use your racket's tractor beam to pull it back and plan your shots as exactly where you want them to land on your opponent's side by pulling on the ball before hitting it towards their end. Be quick, but also know just how much force will be necessary for you to hit correctly. Anything less than that and they might target another area, while anything more could leave them open to enemies themselves who are trying to sneak in another shot. The most important aspect here is learning how to balance all three aspects: speed, precision and force. New Super Lucky's Tale is a charming VR adventure game that offers an excellent collection of platforming, and there is much to love about it. Featuring colorful visuals, vibrant environments and a slew of likable characters, the appeal of this title lies in its simple yet rewarding gameplay loop that goes a long way. In fact, unlike the original Lucky's Tale released as an Oculus Rift pack in title back in 2016, the enhanced version on Xbox One X feels more like a brand new standalone game with a solid experience. Though many gamers thoroughly enjoyed Yooka-Laylee's approach to 3D platforming when it was originally released in 2017, they probably never felt compelled enough to finish it no matter how many times they tried over several months. But it's only now with new Super Lucky's Tale that the magic has finally made its return and reclaimed my interest in 3D platformers once again, making me one happy gamer. It's hard not to enjoy Goren. It's an incredibly entertaining game that has spawned its own number of memes within the VR community. In short, there isn't much you can do but sit back and get caught in its hilarious whirlwind of violence. But at some point or another, the feelings of despair start kicking in when you realize your apartment is still a disaster area even though you've tried to clean it up repeatedly. You wonder if it's worth holding onto your apartment or just finding a new one altogether, because this would be the fourth time you've lived with that same landlord and he might lose his patience with how filthy your place is, especially after the second fire incident. If only there was a way to keep things under control and prevent such disasters from taking place. Rude, lewd, and raunchy are good words to describe the humor of VR Gametrover Saves the Universe. This is true even though it has a storyline that feels like something writer Douglas Adams might have penned if he had been particularly demented. But this space-set comedy-adventure title by Justin Roiland and his Squanch Games studio expands on what other VR games offer, like funny storytelling through voice acting and adventure comic visuals. Seen as one of the biggest VR releases ever along with Epic Games' Robo Recall and Beat Saber, this hilarious sci-fi romp shows how far along the development timeline our headsets have come by making it possible for us to completely immerse ourselves in an incomprehensible digital realm which runs smoothly on a wireless Oculus Quest device. It isn't without its faults, but in depth, Unchained feels like one of the best gaming experiences available on the Oculus Quest right now. The only big disclaimer is that it is a roguelike, which is a genre that many enjoy but can also be quite polarizing. That being said, the pick up and play feel that comes with the genre does lend itself very well to the take anywhere, play anywhere ethos of the Quest. If you've got 20 minutes to jump into VR, you might soon find yourself swapping out Beat Saber for a quick dive into Unchained instead. However, there are some big differences between this game's non-VR counterpart. We recommend that you try out the non-VR version first in order to get an idea of what kind of game this is before diving into playing it in VR. But just to clarify, gamers looking for a RPG experience where they don't need another device will want to download this app as soon as possible since it won't disappoint. Telling too much of Beyond Chronos' story would compromise what it's setting out to do. However, this doesn't imply it's reliant on some sort of obligatory, Shyamalan twist, because like the best visual novels, the Chronicles of Altdeus rely on the strength of their character growth and the mystery that unfolds with time. For anyone who likes anime and sci-fi but has yet to give visual novels a chance, Beyond Chronos will make them believers. Jupitergrad's elevator pitch goes something like this. Become Wonder Woman or Hobbs from Fast and Furious in VR. Just because we don't want to get sued by DC Comics, trade in New York City for a derelict Russian space station orbiting Jupiter, and swap out your shooting webs for a pair of arm-mounted projectile accelerators that stick to surfaces allowing you to re-enter the space station. The station is in dire need of repairs and you're the only cosmonaut qualified to do them, which means dodging spinning fans while reprogramming faulty supercomputers as you master the art of rapid airtime steerage through virtual reality. Five Nights at Freddy's is an action-adventure game about toys that come to life at night. As the new watchman of the restaurant Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it's your job to monitor the behaviors of these particular plush toys that are prone to wandering the halls of this establishment during nighttime hours. Should they find you, you're toast, though they may not intentionally hunt you down. That's just how they operate. You'll monitor their comings and goings via security cameras throughout this dining hall area as well as both sides of the emergency exit doors on each side of the room. The difficulty lies within the limited amount of power you have. And while we're unsure exactly how you'll use it, should it run out, your room goes dark and forces your character into hiding inside a set of drawers in its place. So yes, now you're totally defenseless.